So with that, I am going to now start, we're going to start in a order here. We're going to follow the linear order, and we're going to start with our oldest community, which is our Canadian community from Edmonton. And they started in 2011, and each community is going to tell you what's unique about their community in using the 3 steps.
So I'm going to discuss how
you can say who you are.
Oh, sorry, I'm Brandine Lorraine. I'm an infant psychiatrist from Edmonton.
And I'm Caroline Hatch, and also an infant psychiatrist.
Thanks, Connie. I've forgotten. I've already introduced myself today, so I forgot.
And I didn't introduce myself, but I'm Connie Lillis.
So we're going to talk about how we've incorporated the NRF in different communities, and we're going to do it very quickly because you know we have a short time. So I've incorporated into my work with the neonatal intensive care unit in Edmonton, and I've incorporated into a few ways. So we have 2 level 3 NICUs and 2 level 2 NICUs, and I'm at the level 3 or the highest intensity NICUs. So we're using it in a developmental care parent group. So we have parents come every 2 weeks to a group on the unit, and we talk about stress and stress recovery and what kinds of things they can do for their babies in the NICU to help their babies be as green zone or as in a healthiest state as they can, knowing that in the NICU there are obviously lots and lots of stressors in that environment. The second thing I do is Joy Brown, who's helping our NICU implement NIDCAP, which is a program designed by Heidi Elise Owls, in case people aren't familiar with it. She asked if I would run a staff peer consultation group, so I'm running a group with the NICU NIDCAP staff, so the adult people on their own stress and stress recovery and how they can stay calmer. Because we know if they're calmer and they're approaching the babies in a calmer style, then the babies are probably going to be calmer. So they're filtrating, sending the message out to the rest of the staff in the NICU when they go to do their interventions as NIDCAP people about how they can help the babies with stress and stress recovery, and staff with their own stress and stress recovery. I also do consultation in the actual NICU with parents and babies and staff, and we either model or talk about stress and stress recovery, what's the baby's strengths, what's baby's struggles. And just recently at our other level 3 NICU, which is a surgical NICU where they do the heart transplants and those sorts of things for term babies, we've started a brain protection rounds, which is quite exciting. We're doing that once a month, and we actually go around bed to bed with, some of them are term babies, some of them are premature babies, but all very ill babies. And we actually model during our rounds ways to assist with stress and stress recovery. So I've done diaper changes in a post-hernia surgery baby, like 2 hours post-surgery, and we've done feeding drops of milk for little babies that are just post-surgery because at general practices they're not allowed to eat, but we had a starving baby. So we go around, we actually model this bottom up in the moment during these rounds. And there was a concern they would be very poorly received because it's very surgical, non-pro-infant mental health unit, but we've actually had very positive feedback, which is a bit unknown in the history of that unit to have positive feedback for things. So we're quite excited about that. And then Caroline's going to talk about her too.
Okay, so we're also implementing the NRF in a rehabilitation hospital. So we have a hospital in our city that does all the assessments for children with complex developmental disabilities. So children with autism, children with complex developmental delays. And so we've been going through a process of redesign of our assessment and intervention programs because we have not had an increase in funding in the last 20 years, and we have not looked at our programs holistically for a long time. So I was tasked as one of the co-leaders of this redesign, and our administrator had actually gone to a talk that Connie provided for our community 4 years ago, and she remembered the NRF from a 90-minute presentation. And so when I told her that I thought that we should use NRF principles in our redesign, she was very supportive. So we have actually taken the NRF and created a document that is going to be shared across disciplines to collect data for children. And it's following steps 1, 2, and 3. We're also using the NRF in our community infant mental health clinic, and we use it as we described in our previous talk. In sessions with families, we go through steps 1, 2, and 3, and we're finding really quick uptake of this framework, and using the tree metaphor has, I think, helped, and the visuals visuals and metaphors to help families and clinicians uptake the information. And then we're proceeding with capacity building. Brandy and I are running a study group for 20 clinicians across disciplines in our community, going through the NRF chapters. We suggested to them that we might speed it up and kind of do it faster, and no, they want to come every month for 2 hours. And then we're also going to be part of the research that's coming up next.
And we do reflective peer consultation with ourselves, so we are often checking day by day, how are you doing? Are you green zone? Oh no, that family's coming in. Or you had a family screaming in your office for the last hour. How are you doing? Do you need breaks? We're actually using it for ourselves clinically, live and in action, very, very frequently throughout the day. So it's kind of infiltrated, whether it's our clinical work, our personal work, our hospital work, it's sort of infiltrated most of what we do, and it's pretty common language. We often have to catch ourselves and somebody will say, what's that? And it's like, oh yeah, you don't know what that is yet.
My children know that.
Yeah.
The steps of the NRFs.
Thank you.
And how are you then?